What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're two dudes in a rabbit hole. I'm David, and Derek fucking Carr is gone. He is no longer a Raider. He is a free agent. How do I feel about this as a Raiders fan? I have mixed feelings. He has done a lot for the organization, has rebounded us a lot, and put us in a very good space. But I feel like the Raiders could have gone about it differently. They went about it in a way that burned bridges, and there's always two sides to a story. So yes, did he play mediocre this season? Yeah, he did. Going from being 10-7 and having a better offense the next year and being 6-11. It sucks to watch as a Raiders fan, and I love Derek Carr myself. I am grateful that he brought us to 2 playoff appearances in his tenure. But he never got the supporting cast, and I think it's a shame. I wish the best to him. I hope he goes and wins a Super Bowl. That would be awesome, because then I'll buy a split jersey. But that being said, I see why the organizations thought it was time to move on. Especially after, signing him to a contract that had $40 million guaranteed. If he was still on the roster today, which if you're doing a trial run and you might get rid of him at the end of the season, I don't know why you sign him to that much. So that's a loss in Ziegler's book, as well as putting in a no-trade clause. If you don't know whether you're going to keep a player at the end of the year, why the fuck are you putting in a no-trade clause? You want to try and get something back out of it, and when you burn a bridge like you did, of course the fucking guy's going to tell you to go fuck yourself and not extend it. Like, what do you expect? And then you gatekeep saying he can't talk to other teams? That's stupid. If you truly were going to get rid of him at the end of the year, and you knew that at the beginning of your tenure, why are you doing this dumb shit? You're only fucking us in the long run, Ziegler. That being said, we have a chance, and maybe Aaron Rodgers wants to come. I heard Jimmy G is apparently an option, but that's not who I would take. For me, it's really between Aaron Rodgers and CJ Stroud. And after watching several other podcasters, specifically for the Raiders, Davante Adams has liked a couple tweets from CJ Stroud, and Stroud has even said that he would like to play with Davante Adams. And in that interview that was put up as a tweet on Stroud's page, Davante liked it. Is there a chance that we trade up and get CJ Stroud? I think so. I think it would be good for us. He's probably the most prototypical quarterback ready to play out of all of them. No offense to Bryce Young. He's a good quarterback. I dove into all their stats to CJ Stroud's and Bryce Young's stats, but Bryce Young is too small. I'm not talking about height-wise. He needs to get into the gym, needs to eat a little bit of food. Come on, get your weight up. That being said, he still has... What was it, 180? 6 foot tall?
That's 20 pounds less than Kyler Murray. That's rough.
Yeah, I weigh almost the same as you do, and I'm 5'6". And I'm not that fat anymore, okay?
Nice.
I have to add it, okay? Look, I'm going to be honest. But looking into the stats, CJ Stroud, I looked into the game splits, I looked into the season splits, their stats, by the quarters, and believe it or not, CJ Stroud has played better against better teams and tends to have better second halves than Bryce Young.
You sound like a Will Levis guy.
No. Honestly, Will Levis has the build for an NFL quarterback, but he doesn't have anything proven. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he should go in the top 10. I probably wouldn't take him with the late round first. I'd probably take him in the second if I was going to take him. I would actually probably take Florida's quarterback, Richardson, before I took Will Levis.
Interesting.
That being said, who knows what the Raiders are going to do? Who knows what their plan is? But quit doing stupid shit, Ziegler. And when you burn bridges in the NFL, there is a domino effect. And if you don't prove it this next season, unless you go in there explaining to Mark Davis, hey, we're going to tank this season to get another high first-round pick and get the next year's star quarterback, then you're expected to make it to the playoffs. You fill those defensive gaps, you fill that offensive line, and you get a quarterback, then you have to make it to the playoffs. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've got one of the most talented offenses. So get your head out of your ass and get us to the playoffs. That's also on McDaniels as well. That's all I have for the topic.
Who do you think the quarterback's going to be? Who do you think's the new quarterback? Who's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling, it's a toss-up between Aaron and CJ. I would prefer CJ. That being said, Aaron Rodgers is still a proven quarterback, so there is that. But there is no, yes, you are in a win-now situation, but you are putting a rookie quarterback with a bunch of fucking weapons. You've got a top-tier run game. You've got arguably the best receiver in the league. You've got a top 5 tight end. You have an amazing route runner in Hunter Renfrow in the slot. Maybe you go get... And even that, you also got Hollins. And Hollins is going to go up and get balls too. He proved it this year. He fucking went out and balled the fuck out. I personally think that Stroud could do well in our system. So I would like to see CJ Stroud. It makes the most sense. It's the easiest to get to. And Ziegler's already expressed interest in Stroud. So that's who I think.
Riley, who's your gut feeling?
Say that again?
Who's your gut feeling for the new starting quarterback of the Raiders next season?
David doesn't want to hear me say who I'm going to say, so I don't know if I should say it. David?
He's going to say Jared.
Are you going to say Stidham?
At least you don't know if Jared Stidham, right? You're like, look, it's probably not great, but there's a 3% chance. I'm like, oh shit, this guy just made 3 straight Pro Bowls, right? There's a chance. It's not likely, but it's there, right? I'm going to give you somebody you know is going to fuck it up at the worst time. But he's going to be just competent enough to give you hope in the
Don't give me Baker.
Who am I saying?
Don't.
No. But I'm not that fucking...
3 straight Pro Bowls?
Jimmy G, baby.
Jimmy G.
I'm giving you Jimmy G.
That makes sense, too.
Because he's even more competent.
He's just competent, though.
Fantastic sense.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he's totally fine. That's the problem. Is he had a very elite team around him. Maybe not 10 out of 10, but it was like 8.5, 9 out of 10, and he couldn't make the plays when he needed to. You know, a couple times.
Ruthless.
David, can I hit you with just a few fastball questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. Derek Carr, career over under 200 touchdown passes as of this moment.
Over.
Correct. 217. Over under 100 interceptions at this moment.
At this moment, under.
This second. 217 touchdown passes. How many picks over under 100?
Under.
It is at 99. Probably would have got 100 if he didn't get benched for those last couple games. All right. Derek Carr, over under 150 starts for the Raiders in his career.
Over.
It's under. It looks like 142. All right. Last
How?
question.
Yeah,
Derek Carr in 142 games for the Raiders. How many did he win?
How many did he
one,
win?
1, 2, 3. He only missed like 4 games, but you know.
How many games did he win?
How many did he win out of 142?
Out of 142.
142. So 71 would be 500.
So in the last 2 years, he has lost. I'm doing backwards math here to try and help myself.
I feel.
So
I'm ready.
9, 7. Sorry, 8. Are we counting playoffs?
We are not counting playoffs because
Okay.
he never won a playoff.
I know, but I'm talking
to exclude.
I know, but are we talking our playoffs games counting? Because if he's lost,
No, his one playoff game doesn't fucking count.
Okay, because that's one more game. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
9 plus 7 is 16. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna say 75.
I'm gonna say 82.
He won 63.
Oof. Big oof.
Of those 63, how many did he have to leave a game-winning drive on, David?
Oh God.
63 of them.
That's
63. Every single one, it was like he has to clutch it.
Yeah, because he didn't have a fucking defense to play. I'm gonna say.
So how many out of 63 wins?
I'm gonna say 22.
I'm gonna say 18. 18's my guess.
It is 33. Over
Holy shit!
He had to lead a game-winning drive on.
To be fair,
incredible, Raiders.
The one game I did go watch, actually, like in Oakland, he had to lead a game-winning drive against the fucking Lions, the Matthew Stafford Lions.
Okay, the Matthew Stafford Lions made the playoffs like 3 times. That counts for something.
Yeah, that's what I have to clarify because people don't understand that Matthew Stafford was good with the Lions and they did have good stints. So I have to put it in.
Time. Okay, 28 of those were fourth quarter comebacks. By the way, just throwing that out there. So almost half were comebacks. Over half took a game-winning drive. Raiders.
They never put a defense around him.
Man, any support.
No, they didn't, and that's why I hope he goes and wins a fucking Super Bowl.
Combined defense, special teams since he came into the league, 32nd in expected value added for Derek Carr. 30.
Where do you think Derek Carr goes?
So,
good place to wrap it.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, I think he goes to the Saints. He has meetings with the Panthers,
Okay.
the Bucks, and the Jets, as well as another meeting with the Saints. But the reason I think he ends up going with the Saints, Riley, I know you called this before, I believe, but after the first meeting with the Saints, the second meeting, he actually brought his wife with him. And if we know anything about married people or people with significant others, if you're bringing your wife, there's a likelihood that that's
Not you, Gavin.
that's a place where you're gonna end up going. Like you're
fair.
gauging how she likes the place, the area. Does it factor everything in? No, but he's going, I like this place, I like the team they have, I like what they can offer. What do you think of the area? Because you're going to have to live here. And that says a lot. So, not to mention,
the Saints.
you have Dennis Allen at head coach. Which, Dennis Allen gave him his start.
Dennis Allen, I don't know if it is, but if it isn't directly, it's very close to the worst winning percentage in NFL history for a head coach. It's really bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, they almost made the playoffs this year with a fucking quarterback carousel. So
it was bad. It was real bad. As
plus,
somebody who almost picked up Jameis Winston in fantasy, it was bad.
So yeah, but you got Michael Thomas, you got Alvin Kamara, you've got a defense that has a lot of good players. I think it's a good fit for him, and I hope he wins a Super Bowl.
I feel like if you just close your eyes, little visual exercise, and you take the Bucks and you take the Panthers and you take the Saints and you just whatever other team you want to throw in there, throw in the Jets, throw in the Packers, right? Just throw them all in there. Doesn't it just feel like the Saints is the right helmet, the right uniform for him to go out and go 8-9 for the last 2 years of his career before he becomes a backup? Doesn't it just feel right?
Hey, also, his youngest brother posted a tweet with a fan edit of him in a Saints jersey.
Nice.
I haven't even seen it, but I can picture him in the jersey, and it just fits.
That also got taken down within the same day because he hadn't been released yet.
Nice.
I would say, I think it's going to be the Saints. My number 2 would be the Bucks, because I think the Bucks get in on one of these competent quarterbacks, because I don't think they're going to want to totally tank it, even though I think they absolutely should fire sale it, rebuild for a couple years, and then they can get back to it. But they're not going to do that. Why would they? They're a team that's going to be stuck at like 6 to 9 wins next year, probably. Trying too hard. Anyway. Yeah.
So,
Gavin, who do you have him going to?
So, really quickly, you guys skipped on who I think the new Raiders quarterback is going to be. But I agree with you, Riley. I think it's going to probably be Jimmy G or Jared Stidham. It's weird. I don't know if he goes there, but I can see it. I just don't see it happening. And then where Derek Carr goes, I think the Saints is probably number 1, but my number 2 is the Commanders.
That would also be a good fit, and I would love to see him. I would love to see him play the Cowboys every year and beat them, just so I can rub it in my wife and father-in-law's face, saying that Derek Carr was always better than Dak.
Yep.
But those are good picks there, Gavin. I hate you guys for throwing the Jimmy G thing out there because I wanted to ignore it. I just want that to go away.
But it makes so much.
I want it to go away. Unless they can sign him to a fucking a small deal. Unless they sign him to a small deal, he's not worth it.
I would rather just bottom out. I'd rather not have him. I'd rather not. Like, let's say you win 10 games even. Like, you have a totally solid season.
That's not enough to get in the fucking playoffs, though.
Bottom out. Yeah, it's a...
It's a fucking rough side on the fucking AFC.
Dude, that might get you a bye week in the NFC. God damn, the AFC is brutal.
Fucking AFC, we have 3 potential playoff caliber team. Actually, every team in the AFC West has the potentiality to make it to the playoffs. Like, it's there.
Except the Raiders, yeah. Keep going.
Depending on who they put at quarterback.
So the problem is you could argue the 5 best quarterbacks in the league are in the AFC. That's why it's so fucking hard. Like, I would put Jalen Hurts, like, somewhere in that top 5, so I don't think they have, like, straight up the top 5, but they have, like, 5 of the top, like, 7 right now?
Mahomes,
like,
Burrow,
Justin
Herbert, fucking... You still got to throw in Josh Allen. Like, it's ridiculous.
Lamar Jackson for now.
Lamar. That's also one that I've thrown out there.
At least 4 of the top. That's like at least 4 of the top 5 because like I believe in Herbert. Like you can say whatever you want about the playoffs or whatever. I don't give a fuck about the Chargers, same division, whatever. I don't care. I'm pretty neutral. I think he's gonna eventually be like, oh, that was 47 touchdowns, 5,500 yards, MVP. Like it's gonna happen one of these fucking years. He's that good.
And with Kellen Moore,
yeah.
I think it's more of a likelihood now that they got Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I really like Kellen Moore. I think. I mean, was the fucking offense the issue for the Cowboys? No, it was Dak Prescott being fucking incompetent.
Thank you. Thank you. Not just in the playoffs. Man threw for the
realizing interceptions were his favorite thing.
Like, tied for the most interceptions in the league and played 5 less games than the guy he tied with. The reason the Cowboys were in the playoffs was solely on their defense. You take away that top-end defense in their run game, they're nowhere near the playoffs.
Yeah, Dak was... Look, I can't put Dak down with the Wilsons this season because like they were that bad. But I'd say he was probably like in the bottom. It's probably like 20th or less, right? Like 20th to like 28th range.
I would have taken every...
He had some moments. Pretty good.
I would have taken every Washington Commanders quarterback. I would have taken Daniel Jones. Like, you put Daniel Jones in that system, he's gonna play better than Dak. No offense.
Marcus Mariota?
I would have taken Marcus Mariota.
Okay. Can we also not... Okay. Everybody calm down just a little bit here. This is a hell of a tangent and a rabbit hole. I kind of love it. Let's not overreact to the one shitty season, okay? The year before, he had, like, nearly MVP caliber stats. And it was also
Where did
like
it get
a really
him?
fucking good team that won the 12 games.
Where did it get him?
Got him to
bounced out of the playoffs.
Give him a shot. Okay, all I just heard was you liking Kellen Moore, and then Kellen Moore calling a quarterback draw in that situation. So you're gonna have to defend yourself.
I don't like the quarterback draw in that moment. Okay, I like Kellen Moore, but Kellen Moore's not the problem. Yeah, there are some times when he makes dumb calls, but he is not the problem. Because as much as Kellen Moore does call the plays, guess what Dak can do at the line? He can call an audible based on what he sees. Yeah, he can. He has the power. He has the ability. He's the quarterback. He's the one on the field. If he's so good, why doesn't he do that?
Fun fact, not every team has that. I would assume they have it. Okay, let's wrap up this Derek Carr tangent.
Okay.
AFC West.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 4 seasons starting next year. Do the Raiders win the AFC West in any of the next 4 years?
No.
David, 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
but
That's
only
gonna do it
once.
for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for us. We are two dudes in a rabbit hole. Clearly, we're a rabbit hole. I'm David.
I'm Gavin.
David's a rabbit hole. I'm Riley.
All right, we'll catch you next time.